say when there are no words? Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can't fake it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging dare? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can't fake it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Cannonball. Hey, now cannonball. 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 Cannonball.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing iRacing GTE League Season 5 Round 8 here at Spa Francorchamps in Belgium. My name is King-Kodiak and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box, I am always happy to say, is the one and only StevieSQ.
Hello everybody, welcome along for another installment of the GTE League through AOR iRacing League. We are at Spa, as said, and this is off-track City Central. This is this is going to be a toughie, for they have a 20 incident limit, and we had this track as a test race before the season started, and there was quite a few that fell victim to that.
Yes, there were a number that didn't see the checkered flag, and not because the cars were damaged. So it's going to be interesting. Spa is not very kind when it comes to our tracks. We have a few names joining us for this eve that we haven't seen in the league before, such as this one, Jordan Howson, in the what a lovely British racing green Porsche. I like that. I do like that. Who've we got that is with us? We have got 41 cars on track at the moment. The names, the times are beginning to come in. Irunam, a name that is synonymous with being towards the sharp end, certainly in the Formula Leagues, and not doing too badly here in the GT League. Pulls over and lets a couple of his Bushfrink racing companions through. Sasulski is, well, indeed one of the Bushfrink racing contingent, of which there are considerable in this league. Currently on the top spot with 212 dead, but that will change in the 10 minutes remaining, I have no doubt at all. Joris Thielen in the second position, again, one of the other Bushfrink cars, that is Renault. Michael Dreschler, privateer Ferrari, not a bad effort there. Currently in fourth. Joachim Lundgren occupies fifth. Oh, now he occupies 6th because who's just jumped up ahead of it? Oh, no, pushed down to 7th. Claudio Klima has jumped up the order. As the names are coming in, as the times are rolling in, we are seeing various entries coming in. Jeremy Hopping, nice effort there, 2:12.9, jumps him up to 6th. Phil Reed for AOR Hime has got himself currently into 9th. Dominic Gaidemeyer has just jumped up into 5th for Comrade Gaming. His counterparts, Christoph Holstein, where are you? Time to board yet, but he is with us. Oh, so many names to talk about.
Yeah, plenty of them. Do you want to just have a quick flick through the championship standings going forward into this rep?
The AM results stand as such. Ruth Muller and Cooper, well, actually very closely tied. Oh, that's one of the porters jumping out of the way there. Ruth Muller leads the way, but narrowly over Merlin Cooper. Then Stefan Kamke, Jake Towns, Nick Domino, all in short order. Well, actually, the top, well, you have to go down to 11th before you get out of 100 points between cars. So that is fairly hotly contested. And Van Eyck, Washington, Bell, Smith, and Bedford rounding out the top 10 there. Let's have a look at our Pro-Ams. Little bit further spread, but not much. It's only really Godefroy who took over the Pro-Am lead from Sarah Dove as a consequence of last race from Daytona, I believe.
Yep.
As it went catastrophically wrong for Sarah Dove last time out, but still in with a shot. Still several races left. It's 12. No, how many rounds are left?
There's 10 rounds to go, and well, there's 10 rounds in the season, and this is round 8. Two more after this.
So it's still possible. It's a bit of a task for Sarah to regain the lead of the Pro-Am category, but still doable. And Hoppe, Martinson, Gaillard, Sluman, Suominen, who I believe Suominen has had to leave the league, sadly. Which is a bit of a shame due to work commitments. And De Bruycek, Krutz, and Imre. In the pros, it's Iru Nom right at the top. Quite a long way ahead of Dominic Gaidemeyer, but then it's quite short order. Gaidemeyer, Klima, Shepard, Sasolski, Dressler, Lundgren, Marinsky, Holstein, and Thielen in, well, actually, it's less than 100 points, second to 12th. So, second downwards is pretty hotly contested in the pro category. And in the last race, so last time out at the good old Daytona, Irunom was once again up the top with Gaidemeyer, Sasolski rounding out the podium. And Klima, Marinsky, Godefroy, Dressler, Ronnie Gibbons had such a strong showing, but sadly had an incident towards the tail end of the race that put him down in 8th. And Hoppe, Lundgren, Bell, Martinson, Suominen, Sluman, Towns, Gaillard, Riethmuller, Foku, Brenneman, and Cooper round out our top 20 from that round.
The times are coming in thick and fast here, and as per usual with this league, they are immeasurably close.
Oh, wow.
Dan Sasolski, who won the test race, if you remember, a very long time ago.
Oh, narrowly on the penultimate lap, taking it from Holstein.
He did, and he did it in a completely different car. He did it in the Porsche back then.
Oh, right.
He's in the Ford now, and he is currently on pole by just over a tenth of a second from Joris Thielen, who's also doing very well in that Porsche, so in the car that Dan took over. Although we have a new pole sitter, and this is that man that was bested back in the pre-season race. It is Christoph Holstein.
Oh, by nearly 2/10. Wow, it is 2:11.809. He's pulled out of the bag, and that's still that 2:12 lap that Dan said a little while ago, or towards the beginning of the session. So it leads you to believe that there's still time on the board, but who knows? We will see.
Absolutely, and slipstream is going to play a factor here. If you can get a tow from somebody up towards Le Combe or down through Blanchimont up towards the bus stop chicane, you're going to benefit. They can do that. They can work together to try and get tows, or they can try and just sneakily get one from an opponent. But for a lot of them, it's just going to be luck of draw and just try and get a clear lap in. So there's going to be some discrepancies with that.
Indeed. Canoe Martinson is our current Pro-Am leader. Currently in 9th is 9/10 off the top, 2:12.771. Asger Hebsgaard is uncategorized. Team Viking, like it. Coming over the line now, he showed really strong pace in the strong pace in practice. that preceded this session. Currently sits in 11th. And again, Jordan Hauser in that green Porsche. Again, great effort from him. Currently 13th. Just starting another hot lap. And I believe Nick Domino is our current AM pole sitter who's returned back to the pits. Currently in 16th position for him in the PCDC Motorsport Porsche. So not a bad showing there at all. We still have another of our new entrants, Rodrigo Uribes in the Porsche, in number 911 Porsche. The Brazilian just coming over the line. Let's see what time he gets on the board. We have 4 drivers yet to put the time on the board. Where does Mr. Uribes find himself? Puts himself 33rd with a 2:14.4. Still has 3 3/4 minutes to put the time on the board. Flavian Foku yet to set a time, but is now out there on track. Evan Imre the same. The other one is interesting, Timu Toika. He's leaving it very late, but he is out there. All 3 of our as yet unclassified runners are on track, so we'll see where they can slot themselves.
Absolutely, and just as you mentioned practice earlier, just to give you the viewers a insight into practice times, Eno Marinsky topped the practice session with a 2:11.9. Which I think is a tenth slower than what we currently have on pole.
It is.
Someone has been there.
Yeah.
But we've also got practice. So it was Eno Marinsky from Dan Sasulski, Joris Thielen, Asger Hebsgaard, and Chris Holstein was in 5th.
There is no way you remember that. Please tell me you took a screenshot of that.
No, I just opened up the iRacing hood right now and just read it as I saw it.
You didn't remember it off the top of your head. I was going to say, wow, that's an incredible memory.
I'm not that good.
Who is that that's chasing? That was Chris Bell that was actually chasing Mr. Marinsky. They're both running the same coloured Porsche.
Yeah,
because they're in the same team, that's why. The Kylo on my yellow.
And Chris Bell is on a tremendous run of form at the minute. He won the AM class in Daytona and was doing incredibly well in Twin Ring Mercedes as well before an incident put him out. Look at the slipstream though
nice.
Going on here. It's going to be a run for who is that? Oh no, he's backed out of it, so that's not going to work. And that's definitely an off track at the top of what corner's that?
That'll be a Rouge, my friend.
Okay. Let's get that out of the way straight away.
Over Eau Rouge. It's up Eau Rouge and through Radial. That's the way I remember it.
There you go.
This is where chat explodes at because I got the wrong way round. I'm pretty sure it's that way round.
I'm not entertaining any of that. So just a point as well, just because I care for little bits of information like this. Dan Sasulski, although he's P2, he has done a 2-minute 12.0000. So therefore he wins. It's an unspoken rule because he got a 000, he got a flat time, so he wins.
By order of the SQ.
Yes.
He doth win getting a flat time.
It's one of those things that the drivers have no control, but they have all of the control to do.
If they aim for that level of consistency, that's very, very impressive.
Yes. I'm just trying to look down and see what closest gap is. We've got Joachim Lundgren 3,000ths behind Sam Blackwood, down 19th for Joachim and 18th for Sam.
Canoe Martin's 2,000s off the back of Asger Hebsgaard, who again is putting in a brilliant showing in 9th position.
I can beat it. Gaillard is 1,000th behind Colin Van Eyck, 23rd, 24th.
There had to be one.
And there's actually 2 because Timu Toik is 1,000th behind Richard Brenneman right now.
So it's
very close qualifying.
There's only Foku and Imre that didn't get a time on the board though. Sasulski's still out there. Oh, he's just coming through the bus stop, so let's see what he can do. He's got Gaidamer chasing him.
Foku might be on a lap.
Oh,
if so, then this is going to be a desperate attempt for him to get a lap on, because he's not going to be able to start another one now. Once this time, now the flag's out, once he finishes this lap, it's it for him. Evan Imre in the pits though, he's not going to be getting a lap. He's going to start dead last.
Very literally dead last, yeah. And Foku's getting a bit of a slipstream from Reith Muller. So The VEC Sim Racing Porsches streaming on down through Francorchamps. Now, I normally put a track map up. I'm going to see how well I do without one.
I've got one.
I have one, I just haven't opened it. So I'm just going to see how well I do with corner names. So you'll have to shout at me if I get it wrong.
I will do, don't worry.
Yeah, I can imagine the comments in the YouTube chat afterwards.
Foku went... Oh, did he not count? Didn't count.
Didn't count. Oh dear, oh dear.
Nope. So Foku's had 2 attempts at a qualifying lap and hasn't managed any of them. Same for Evan. They both were invalidated. As we said, the track limits here are incredibly harsh.
That they are. And Irinam, he's still on a hot lap. Where's he? He's coming through Stavelo. Yes. I think no, he's not. That's Campus. He's coming through. So he's on his way down to Stavelo. He's not. Whoa!
Look at this.
Done. Go on.
Aeronom, 4th place though.
Yeah, that's just.
When was the last time we saw this?
It's been a while. And we were literally just watching him come through the campus chicane and get a wobble on the exit. Here comes Gaydemir, now comes through Stavelo, coming towards Blanchimont. Oh no, go too wide. He's kept that one on the road. Now I know I remember we talked about this on the evaluation race before the season began. There's some areas that you can wander a little bit wide, but most will bite you.
Mm-hmm. Here through Blanchimont, you can. There's a very, 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 very small margin for it that will allow you to go off, but any wider and you'll be getting an off track. Bus stop is pretty self-explanatory because there's massive curbs to deter as a deterrent, and it's not really advantageous to run super wide out of the bus stop on the turn 20.
And that was invalid from Gaydemir.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out as well, Chris Holstein got 1 lap in. Dan Sasolski got 1 lap in. Joris Thielen got 3 out of 5. Aero got 2 out of 6, I guess.
That's amazing. Well, that would think there's time left on the session, but no one is on track. So that is it. This is how the grid is going to look. Christoph Holstein taking the top spot from Dan Sasolski, so our front runners from the evaluation race once again towards the sharp end. Then Thielen, Nom, Gaydemir, Marinsky, Klima, Hoppe, Hebsgaard. Great effort then from the newcomer. Then Martinsen, Dreschler, Reed, Howson, again a strong showing, still remained in 13th position. Sluman, Gibbons, Gaillard, Lundgren, Domino, I believe, is our front-running AM driver, so great effort from him. Godefroy, Blackwood, Bell, Debroycek, Bedford, Cooper, Ike, Dove, Riethmuller, Smith, Brenneman, Toyka, Towns, Zelenika, Kreutz, Rebus, Christensen, Kamke, and Hitchcock, Washington. No, that's the name that I didn't mention too much. Jose Malbran is the Argentinian that has joined us. He starts in 39th. And Imre, actually, according to this, Imre starts ahead of Foco. So either way, they keep themselves company at the back of the grid.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact way they work it out. It's either on iRacing or it's on some other system that iRacing...
Some other voodoo.
Yeah. So I don't know the exact way they order it, but they do. They find a way. Okay. I am ready for this. I can't wait for this. Oh, Gibbs in the track chat saying track temp change has made a big play in these times. Ooh. Track temp at the minute is 28 degrees, so pretty toasty.
But we'll see how our drivers do. The grid up then, rolling start. It's going to start fair way down Blanchimont. So they haven't got too far to go to get to the start-finish line. That's not what I meant to do. Apologies there. A window popped up right in the way, so the stream saw that. I'm chickening out. I'm opening my trap.
I didn't even do the formation.
I know.
I guess it's better to have it open now, though, rather than trying to find one in the middle of the race.
Well, that was what I'm thinking. Is even if I decide to test myself later on, I'd rather get the kind of loading bit and the stream heard you go a little bit robotic as that was loading up. for me. But there we go. We are all set. Away goes our drivers. The formation lap now begins. They streamer down towards bus up chicane. Christoph Holstein. It's fair to say that his championship defence is going to be the other side of impossible now, but still reminding us why he's a multiple champion in this category.
Yep, two-time reigning champion. He's stuck it on the front row.
His teammate only a few positions behind. Here they come then. Oh, that's very close. Wow, and not wasting any time at all. Holstein absolutely floors it. Off the end of the bus stop chicane, over the line they come. And Sasulski's already under pressure by the Bushwing Racing Porsche. Once the numbers sort themselves out, we'll be able to get an idea of who's where. How's the back of the field looking? Looks like everyone's got through okay. Sasulski, that was Joris Thielen that came through and stole second position from the exit of the bus stop chicane. Up they come. Over Eau Rouge onto the Kemmel Straight for the first time. Look at the gap that Holstein's got from top already. There's nearly a second up front. Whoa, and there's Gadamer coming now 3 wide, making that 3 wide with Sasulski. And see, that's actually Iru Nom, I think, is in there as well. Oh, who's going to be the latest of the late breakers? Looks like everyone's got through. There's Iru Nom. Oh, no, there goes Gadamer.
He's off the track though. That should be okay. He shouldn't be collect anybody, but that didn't look like contact. It doesn't look like he dropped it on his own. It's going to be careful with the retry.
He's. I know you're eager to get back underway, but wow, that's pretty brave to kind of pull out into the stream of traffic like that. There's one of our new guys, Jordan Nelson. He's up to 12th now, right in the mix of the pack. Let's jump up. Keep an eye up front. That's Holstein then. That's staring now at Thielen, Sasulski, and Iru Nom. All the Bushwink getting their representation in. There's Edsger Habgaard. He's up to Hebsgaard. I'll get his name right soon. Yeah, now up to 5th position. So he's at a cracking start. He's already gained 4. And he's staring at the back of the legendary Iru Nom. There is Inar Marinsky. He's remained in 6th. We've kind of gained and lost some. Hoppe there is with Dressler. Knut Martinsen is upper position. There's big stream of cards. Gibbons, Klima, Hausen. Phil Reed is in that mixture. He's got Lundgren, Gaillard, Sluman. And Nick Domino, what's going on with you? Goodness me, that's De Bruycek that was coming past him. Streaming on through. Oh, even going on the grass for someone. That was, that's De Bruycek giving a big old flash to the lights to Phil Bedford. Knut Martinsen side by side with, I think it's Ronnie Gibbons. Knut defending 9th position, hangs on to that, keeps the Alpine Stars Geodetic Racing Ferrari behind him. Actually, both of the Geodetic Ferraris are right there with Knut. Looks like everybody's made it through okay. Has anyone fallen foul that you can see?
Jeremy Smith had a little bit of an incident going on the inside of Pouan. He dropped under braking, but was very much on the inside. Didn't hit anybody, didn't cause a collision for anybody. He just lost a lot of time. Evan Nimray already up into 20. Oh no, it's that's the overlay being mean to me. He's up to 40th. So yeah, he's still paying for that price for his position where he started. But it looked like everybody made it through.
That's all good, all good. I mean, usually someone kind of falls foul. Oh, that's Gaillard, and that is Sluman. Nice move then by the VC Sim Racing Cyan Porsche.
He's going to be under pressure from Marvin though. Oh, Marvin was tempted to go to the inside, then went back to the outside, and there was kind of a gap. There wasn't really a gap. All worked out in the end though. Cost some time for the cars in front.
Oh, Joris Thielen and Dan Sasulski, they're crossing swords with Iru Nom and Asger Hebgaard right behind them as well. There you can see Inar Marinsky's actually fallen off the back of this duo. Whether he's biding time, we don't know. It's a little bit unusual to see Marinsky not quite on the pace of the rest, but if he's just biding his time and letting everybody else fight ahead of him, that could be it. But he doesn't want to look at Holstein. That's now 1.3 that he's got for himself up front. But Dan Sasulski has got fellow Bushwink Racing Porsche. One, the Ford is pink, the Porsche is red. Don't ask me the difference between them. Some kind of inter-team differentiation, I assume.
I'm assuming so.
And a normal Bushwick, a non-coloured, essentially, Irenom right behind them. Whoa! Asger Hebsgaard had to get out of that, and he did, in fairness. He didn't clunk into the back of Irenom, but that could have been a bit of an impact there.
Worth pointing out as well, if you remember all the way back to the test race, and I can't believe I can remember this. The one that is missing from that top battle is Claudio Klima down in 9th place at the minute. Down a couple of positions from where they started, but they've got a lot of work to do considering they battled Holstein and Sasulski the entire time from the pre-season race.
Yeah, they did. That was an amazing battle as well. What's happened to you? You're just getting involved in bite. Look at that! That clump of 4 now is no longer, two distinct pairs. That's now really closed up. As Irenom is closed in a bit on Thielen. I think he's having to fend off Hebsgaard. And speaking of Klima, he's side by side with Jeremy Hoppe coming in. Whoa! The Porsche getting very, very twitchy coming through Les Combes. Yeah, had to refer to the map because I forgot what the chicane was called.
Just behind them as well, Gibbons and Martinson were scrapping, and Jordan Housen, one of the new people, was right there with them as well.
Phil Reed's right behind him as well. Phil did not have a good qualifying at all. He's actually down a position from where he started. So that's not gone well for the AOR Hime Ferrari. But long way to go. As you can see, we've got it's an hour and 20 overall this race. And one of the biggest factors for these drivers is going to be the incident limit. How we're looking after lap 1.
Phil Reed's in trouble. He's already on 7. We're only on lap 3. He's got over an hour and 10 minutes to go, and he's nearly halfway there.
And I believe Phil Reed fell victim to it last time. And he's had a few arguments with the incident limit through the season, which is a great shame because he's, again, in the pro category. He's a fantastic driver. He's just fallen foul of that dreaded incident limit one too many times. But that's the way it goes.
Asger Hebsgaard on Irenom! That was an amazing move. That was a lunge and a half on the championship leader. You absolutely showed. That was amazing.
Oh, you actually saw
a long way back as well.
Do you think?
I don't know whether that was intentional.
Yeah, I was saying that looked like it could have been he missed his braking point, but Irenom, he went to turn in and had to bail. Otherwise, that could have gotten very nasty very quickly. But I will say, I've just pulled up the driver chat, and they have hotkeys they can push to send messages. Asger has just sent one that says sorry. So I don't know how recent that was, but maybe that was not a completely intentional, and maybe a completely intentional move. But Aero is going to have him trying to go around the outside, going into Les Combes. It's not going to happen though. Irenom off the podium. Oh, he's going to have a move here. This is going to be brave. It's going to be very brave. Requires a lot of patience from the car on the outside, and fair play to Asger. He left him space, but just managed to hold it. And here comes Einar Marinsky as well. He's looking to get involved. So there you go. Einar has been biding his time, I think. Let's see what's going to shake down. Look how close the Ferraris are. Irenom is not. Oh, this could get very, very ugly. That's not a common overtaking spot. It's Forces around the inside of Pilwan. Here comes Marinsky. And yeah, there's a flash of the lights here, I think, from Hebsgaard. I'm not sure he was too impressed with that. Look at the inside of the Porsche coming into campus. Does manage to get at least one of those positions back again. But wow, that was Irenom really getting the elbows out.
Aero giving back what he was got a taste of going into the bus stop last lap. Yeah. We've not seen this from Aerodom. We haven't seen him have to really fight for these wins he's had. He's won the last 5 in a row, but he's just put it on pole, or put it on the front row at least, and just run away with it.
Yeah.
It's great to see him actually fighting for it, and he said it last week. If you want to beat me, practice. And look at him now. He's down in 5th or 4th place, sorry.
Yeah, again, Marinsky thinking about, whoa, and there's that much narrower line coming from Hebsgaard. He was going for the apex much earlier. Whether he was thinking about defending from Irenom, from Marinsky, Einar Marinsky, who knows? But he went to the apex much earlier than I was expecting him to. But yeah, up front, Joris Thielen still keeping down Sasulski company. That's allowed Christoph Holstein to extend that gap to about 1.7. He hasn't gone too far up the road, but he has extended that lead ever so slightly. Then you've got the three-way battle we've been looking at with Noam Hebsgaard and Marinsky. There in the background is Michael Dreschler. He's broken free of Claudio Klima to the tune of 2.3 seconds and is now chasing off, gained quite a substantial half. Look at the train behind them. That's Klima, Hoppe, Martinson, Gibbons, Hausen and Reed all in that battle. There is Ronnie Gibbons inside of Knut Martinson. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Brilliantly defended by the AOR yellow Ferrari of Knut Martinson. Once again, Gibbons can't find a way through. Hausen right with him. Phil Reed either can't find the pace or just hasn't taken an opportunity to try and muscle his way through, or he's doing what I think Marinsky's doing and just kind of biding his time until later in the race to make a move. And actually right behind them, Jochen Lundgren is looking to join that conga line.
Yeah, and if you look a little further down, back to where Alexander Godefroy is in 15th place, he's got a 4-car, 5-car train behind him as well, including Sluven, Gaillard, Bell and De Bruyne. It's this track, man, it's so hard to break the slipstream of. It's not as bad as Daytona, but it's pretty tough. It's amazing that Holstein's got the 1.5 second gap he's got at the minute.
Yeah, but he built it right at the beginning, didn't he? So he didn't have to defend from anybody. He did exactly what we've seen Irunom do so many times, get to the front and run. So he hasn't had to fend anybody off. However, speaking of Irunom, he's broken free of Hebsgaard. He's out of that kind of 6/10, slipstream gap. So Hebsgaard's just got his mirrors full of Porsche at the moment as they stream on down towards the bus stop again. And this time Hebsgaard chose the more traditional racing line. Thielen is right with Dan Sasulski as well, so that battle hasn't resolved itself. Rito Marinsky's very close to the back of Hebsgaard. So many cars still in the same shot. Fantastic to see. It's impossible to know with a look. There's so many cars so close together. There, you just saw in the background Dominic Gainemeyer from that spin on the opening laps, now back up to 21st position. That's Sarah Dove in the Ibrahime Ford already ahead. So he is making his way through the traffic, but he finds himself nearly 20 seconds off the lead.
Absolutely, and just to give a quick summary, after nearly 12 minutes of racing, your pro leaders are Holstein, Sasulski and Thielen, as you can see. Your pro-am leaders are Jeremy Hoppe, Knut Martinson and Ronnie Gibbons, who are side by side once again going into Les Combes. Gibbs trying to go on the outside. It's going to be difficult. Oh, Knut left him the space for the second part, but he's back behind for the finale of those sets of corners. Oh, he's going to go over the inside here. This is going to be brave.
Oh, that's Bruxelles. He's got a 180-degree right-hander. Can he hang on to it? Oh, Martinson, he wants the inside then for 10-12, for 10-11, and he's still managed to keep Ronnie Gibbons behind him. Oh! And
that'll be an off-track for Gibbons just there. And he's immediately under attack from Hausen behind.
Yeah, Gibbons had to defend that inside line. He wasn't confident that the Porsche wasn't going to throw that on the inside of Pouan. I can no longer say it's not really an overtaken spot because we saw Irunom do exactly that. And if we let it go, here is Hausen outside of Campus. Now going to have the inside line. Can he demote Ronnie Gibbons a position? He's going to have the outside for Stavolo. He can't get it done though. He had to back out. There is Phil Reed looking to get involved. No, Phil Reed staying right where he is. Phil Reed could be just playing a bit more cautious because he's already racked up quite a few incidents. Although, in fairness, Ronnie Gibbons isn't far behind him on 5. So, and they only have a maximum of
20. You also might want to have a look up to Ian Marinsky and Hebsgaard. They're so close. They were side by side coming out of Paul Frere. But the Ferrari power just that little bit better. It's a little bit quicker on the straights, and it's just allowed Elgato to pull back ahead up towards the bus stop. There's battles literally everywhere.
That's what we love as commentators, but it just makes our job pleasantly difficult. This is one of the few times I can use that phrase. Oh, Marinsky looked like he was going to have a look on the inside, coming through the source there, but has opted out of that one. We'll see what he can do on the camel straight.
Absolutely. And just to finish the point I was going to say before the Pro-Am battle kicked off, your Am leaders right now is Chris Bell in 19th overall, Phil Bedford in 22nd overall, and Nick Domino in 23rd.
Oh, Gainemeyer, no. I was thinking he's going to have a crack on the inside of Rally on, but no, he didn't.
Wow. Do you want to know something?
Go on.
After Gaidemeier's spin, he was 20th. He is still 20th. And look how we know how quick he is. So he's had to do some serious recovery, I think. Unless he's had another issue.
Which is possible. But he's just gone through into 19th. He was in 21st when we looked at him before. So a lot of work for Gaidemeier to do.
Looks like he's just been struggling to make those overtakes. Just an update as well. We have lost from the race so far Jose Malbran and Timu Toika. Jake Town was in the pits last time I looked at him. He's on 12 incidents so far. I think he's got damage, so I don't know whether he's going to come back out later. He's still in the session. So we will see. Stefan Kamke is the last of our runners so far in 30.
Oh, not on Nando's Ferrari. Oh, that's a shame. Well, I'm keeping an eye. I'm trying to keep an eye everywhere, which is always impossible. But it's this battle I'm most intrigued with: Marinsky and Hebsgaard. This is for 5th, and that Ferrari's been fighting off Marinsky for the last few laps now. Through Blanchimont we come again towards the bus stop. We know how good the Ferrari is in the brace, and there you can just see the Ferrari just pull away enough. Oh, Marinsky closed in it quite a bit, and they're right behind. That's Klima and Dressler. So Klima's caught the back of Michael Dressler, and they are caning on these two. Once again, another conga line is forming.
Yeah, and we know Klima's got some significant pace around here. Certainly leader's pace if he can get there. He's just got to recover that time. He's about 9.5 seconds off the lead at the minute. Long ways to go, long way to go, and if those up front start battling, there's everything to play for still. Holstein now extending the lead. He's just got about 2 seconds now over Dan Zasulski. I don't think Joris Thielen is fighting too hard with his fellow team.
Marinsky! Oh wow, he left that to the last possible fraction of a second. Dressler and Klima side by side as well. Hebsgaard's going to have the inside for the first apex. As they come into Lake Arm, no, he couldn't hold on to it. You heard the tyres just begin to let go. And he had actually a bit of a wobble coming on the exit, or through the middle, I should say, of Lake Arm. So, valiant effort, but again, just Marinsky just running out of speed when he crucially needs it.
Yeah, and just to finish up as well, Klima did manage to get past Dressler. It all started at the top of the Rouge, and Dressler ran very wide. It would have cost him a lot of time and it allowed Klima to easily fly through.
Oh, look at this pack here: De Bruyche, Gaidemeier, Gaillard, Dove, and Bell, all in this pack here. As Gaidemeier's continuing to try and work his way through the field. He's going to go inside of Pouon. Oh, he second-guessed himself there. He looked like he was actually going to slot back behind De Bruyche, but did at the very last second jump out, and he's completed the move. Oh, that was a very split-second decision from Gaidemeier, but he has made it work up to 17th. He's got 4 seconds, give or take, to close into the next pack ahead of him, which is Lundgren, Godefroy, and Sluman. But, of course, whilst he's fighting all this lot, he's losing time to the leader. Again, jumping up to Zasulski and Thielen. They were very close, but again, the Ford and the Porsche remaining in their respective positions. It's checking with Marinsky and Hebsgaard. Same story there. But Marinsky's got Klima already on his tail. Yeah,
Klima is got some serious pace right now. Hebsgaard needs to be careful, though. He is on 8 incidents so far. Nearly at the halfway point. And we're not even 20 minutes into the race at the minute. He's got a long way to go. Gaidemeier's on 11 as well. Gaillard and Dove both on 8. Phil Reed's on 8. Joachim Lundgren's on 8. Sounds like a lot. It is. For how early in the race, this is a lot. I think the phrase is cause for concern.
Someone's going to have to back out of that, and just Joachim Lundgren manages to shut the door on Alexander Godefroy coming through Radion up and over Eau Rouge. Here comes the Ford as well, Marvin Sluman. How's this one going to pan out? The Ferrari, well, one Ferrari passing another. Godefroy looking to make the move on Lundgren. What's the Ford going to do? And no, I did wonder whether Sluman was going to try and throw that on the inside. Whoa! That's not gone well for Godefroy. He lost a fair bit of momentum there. And Marvin Sluman couldn't do anything about it either, so they remain in their positions. Sluman again having a look at the inside of Bruxelles, doesn't go for the move. Ooh, it's going to be one of these races where something's going. I know I've said this before, and a few laps later we've had a big pile-up, and that's not the kind of solution I want to these kind of things. We want these big daring moves, but because, I mean, you know, coming back to Marinsky and Hevsgaard, for instance, you know that Marinsky's trying everything he can to try and work his way past Hevsgaard. He's not just sitting there, he's not biding his time, he's just trying to find a way past, and the Ferrari, just at the right time, has got the pace to keep the Porsche behind him.
Absolutely, the Porsche, and we've got Hausen and Gibbons scrapping it out at the minute. Coming into, I need the map, Stavelo. It looks like Gibbons got a little bit offline, which allowed Hausen to capitalise. They've dropped off the back of Knut Martinsen and Jeremy Hoppe up front. But yeah, the Porsche just lacks that little extra grunt, just at the very top end, and it means that Ferrari and the Ford can just ease away from them at the crucial time coming into the braking zones.
A bit of lag there from Phil. Ooh, I cringe when the concertina effect under braking. I'm not an experienced racer. These guys have probably got it in there, all in their stride, all in control. But to me, it just looks like, oh, that's going to be a bang, and it never is, or almost never is.
We're going to have there's going to be another close call here. We've got Elgato again. He's got Enon Marinsky and Claudio Klima. This could, with Ferrari Grunt being first and third, this could be a prime opportunity for Klima to get one, maybe two positions going into Slick-On.
On the gearbox of Hevsgaard then, how is Marinsky going to handle this? And look at slipstream. We may well see kind of down. Oh, and look at Klima looking to try and nail the pair of them. 3 wide coming into Les Combes. Someone's going to have to back out of it. Klima did, but how is Hevsgaard going to fend off Marinsky? Marinsky stayed alongside, going to the inside for the next apex, and he's finally done it. The Porsche has gone past the Ferrari, but Hevsgaard was out of shape on that last exit of the Les Combes. Here comes Klima. Now on the outside of Bruxelles, he's going to have to hold on with everything if he wants the inside for the next turn. No, he doesn't manage it. There's Dresser in the background looking to get involved. Finally, Enon Marinsky has gotten past Asker Hevgaard. But of course, this is going to put the tables back on the Porsche now, because the Porsche can't slipstream off of anybody. Enon is 4.5 seconds down the road.
Yeah, Enon needs a really good set of corners now to get as big a gap as he can to just get away from Asker Hevgaard. Although he might be getting help here, because if Klima's pushing the attack on Asker very hard, and if Hevgaard has to start defending from Klima, that gap's going to open up very quickly. He's nearly got 8 tenths as Enon Marinsky. That's just on the cusp of being out of slipstream range. He might just have saved it, got some help there.
Wow, 9 tenths now at the last check. So for having some help, Enon Marinsky may well have had just that extra bit he needed to actually start to break away from Asker Hevsgaard. But we've seen how quickly these gaps can change here at Spa. And wow, that's very determined from Hevsgaard coming through Blanchimont. He's doing his best to close back in that gap. Of course, as they concertina up, the gap does compress through the last part of the bus stop chicane over the line, and that's about 7 tenths. So Hevsgaard may, actually 5.5 tenths. So Hevsgaard may well have actually crawled back within DRS. DRS, I knew it did at some point.
We got pit up. We got Dominic Gaydemer in the pit.
Mandatory pit stop.
It's not mandatory. They don't have to, but they are. Well, the way the rules and the race length is set, it's usually optimistic to try and go the entire race. Someone else has come in and they've got damage. That is Gaillard. Yeah, what's happened to Gaillard?
Yeah, see if we can figure what happened to Mr. Gaillard, because that's not a happy portion.
No, I'll go back and have a see if I can find what happened.
Lots of balls! Spinner! That's Hevsgaard! Just as I come back to him, he span. So he's tried for an impact between himself and Marinsky. So he's trying to get the move done on the Porsche, trying to get back up into that 5th position. And he's just tapped the front of the Porsche. That's put Hevsgaard all the way down in 10th behind Knut Martinsen. There's Ronnie Gibbons now. There's that battle with Gibbons, Reed and Hausen. That I was thinking Gaydemer was in there, but no, he wasn't. He was slightly further down the field before he stopped. Oh dear, oh dear. And then the next pack of 3 just behind them, Lundgren, Godefroy, Sluman. Oh dear, what a shame for Asker Hevsgaard.
Yeah, and just to clear up on the point with Gaillard, there was contact between himself and Chris Bell going through, on the exit of campus. Gaillard got a little wide. Chris didn't have enough time to react, to look like, and just pitted him round, and he spun into the wall.
Oh dear. Well, Chris's car looks okay. Always a bit of damage on the rear. A bit of damage on the rear right, I think. The rear left, rather.
We've also got Evan Imre running in 37th. He said looks like he's pitted as well.
What has happened to Evan?
I don't know. He's run. I know he said a couple of weeks ago there was an incident. I can't remember where it was. There was an incident where he looked like we caught it on camera where he looked like he just lifted off and let somebody through. And he told me afterwards that he was having trouble with his brake, and his brake would like keep sticking.
Oh dear.
And I wonder if he's having similar issues, because it is not like it's not right normally to see Evan this far down.
No. Yeah, Evan's a pretty strong contender in the Pro-Ams. He's sort of decent midfield in the Pro-Ams, so it's a bit surprising what's going on with Bell. Bell's in the pits.
Yeah, that's what me to try and fix any damage he's got from the incident with Gaillard.
Ooh, Dressler.
Jeremy Hopper. Oh, gone.
Dressler is actually on the back of Marinsky and Klima. You were talking about Jeremy Hoppe. He's got Knut Martinsen for company. He's had Knut for company for a while now. And Hebsgaard has got a lot of defending to do with Gibbons, Reed and Housen right with him. It's not a slow pack he's having to defend from.
No, Reed's managed to make that position up on Housen as well through all that. So that Porsche problem, that Porsche power problem, is certainly proving so. But it's one of those things that as you pick a car, it carries you through an entire season. And the Porsche's benefits over just raw cornering speed. Oh, is that Phil going to have a move on the inside? No. It looked like it, but he backed out of it going into P1. That would have been very brave, but we've seen it a few times tonight. But yeah, the Porsche's power over corners will pay it back through some of the other track.
Absolutely.
And just to point out as well, sorry to interrupt, announced today via iRacing, there will be another addition to the GTE class potentially next season, which will be the BMW M8 GT. So we may have an extra factor next season.
Where's the Corvette? Where's the C7? I like the growl. It's like that low V8 growl you get from the C7.
Oh, Housen might have a run here on Phil Reed. Is he going to go up the inside? He's looking like it. Going to be better on the brakes. He's trying. Phil's going to have to leave him space. He has done. It wasn't quite alongside enough though to complete the move. Phil managed to hold on, but it was a good attempt from Jordan Housen.
Yeah, it was a fair effort. Phil was tad wide coming through Blanchimont, which just lost him that tiny bit of momentum. And again, that was well driven from Housen as well. That could have gone horribly wrong. An inexperienced driver may have just barreled into there and not given the appropriate space, but no such problems for Jordan Housen. He's staying right on the back of Phil Reed. In yourself is no easy feat.
Just to give a shout to our, obviously we've lost Jose Malbran, but our other debutant is Rodrigo Ribas. He's currently running in 23rd place. He's putting pressure, it looks like, on Sam Black, so not doing too badly at all.
And Jordan Housen did complete that move along the Kemmel Straight, nice and clean. Phil Reed slotted in behind before the braking zone for Lecombe, so nicely done there. Joris Thielen still is pestering the back of Dan Sasulski. Christoph Holstein now nearly 3 seconds up the road in the lead. He's not under a lot of pressure by anybody. Marinsky still has company with Klima and Dressler either side of him, although that pack has spread out a little bit. And it is Knut Martinsen and Jeremy Hoppe in short order. That is a lapped car that is right by. That was what was confusing me slightly. That's Felipe Gaillard. He's a lap down from the cars around him. So the next car, position-wise, is actually Asker Hebsgaard, directly behind Knut. He has got Gibbons, Housen, and Reed for company. And in the back, then Jochen Lundgren in 14th position with Alexander Godefroy and Marvin Sleyman.
That's a battle that's been going for a long time.
It has, absolutely. And there's Dvorak, 17th, Sarah Dove, slightly further down the road. Bit of a gap then back to Phil Bedford. There's Nick Domino and Marco Zelenica in that particular scrap. Sam Blackwood in 22nd. There is the aforementioned debutant Rodrigo Ribes in the Porsche. Richard Brenneman has got Flavian Foku for company. It's not been a great race for Flavian, but then he started dead last and is up to 25th now. Merlin Cooper is slightly further down the road. I think those behind have had trouble of some description. And that is how the top 26 look.
And just to point out as well, our after Chris Bell pitted, our lead AM now is Phil Bedford, and he's under a increasing amount of pressure from Nicholas Domino and Marco Zelenik. I'm not. I noticed that Phil's just made a small mistake going into the bus stop. Just brought him a little bit closer to Nicholas and Marco that he would like.
He's had a fairly decent run from the source. Already on an over.
Domino's under pressure from Zelenika behind at the minute.
Indeed.
Because they're going to go to the outside. We know how hard Domino likes to fight. Getting past him is a challenge on its own, but the Ford, look at that, straight by.
Nicely done, very nicely done. Nice and clean by both drivers there. I'm sure Dom won't be very happy that we broadcast that one. There we go, that's the nature of the beast.
That is one of those that all he can do is keep his foot to the floor.
I mean, it's very easy just to either defend unreasonably, you know, a lesser experienced driver may panic or push too hard to regain the position. You've just got to kind of keep your head down and keep plugging away what you know works with your ability in your car setup and what have you. That was nice and clean by both of them.
Absolutely, and we're only half an hour into the race. There's a long way still to go.
Oh, Jordan Housen on the back of Ronnie Gibbons, who's gone a bit wide coming through Stavelo. Probably given him a point there.
That definitely would have been an off-track point. They're very strict on that one.
How was the privateer Porsche going to fare then against the geodesic Ferrari?
Took a lot of curb on the inside of Blanchimont as well. It was brave, it can sometimes unsettle the car. Might cost him a little bit of speed actually doing that.
Bit of a wiggle from Gibbons on the exit of the bus stop chicane. Jordan Housen staying very firmly under the rear wing. Is he going to have a look on the inside of Stavelo? No, but he's making himself known in the mirrors though. He is keeping the pressure very firmly on Ronnie Gibbons. We're right with him. Of course, he's Phil Reed. There's Felipe Gaillard's rearranged Porsche. He's kept out of the way of this lot.
Let's have a look and see where Mr. Gaydomere is, because he pitted a long time ago now. Oh, I mean 3 laps ago. He's on 17 incidents though. Oh boy.
Oh dear. He's in 29th at the moment, but finds himself some distance behind anybody else. Where's Jamie Smith? But that's the gap Smith to Gaydomere, about 4 seconds or so. Oh dear, Dominic Gaydomere having a mare of a race, I think it's fair to say.
You remember last week when he was... Oh, go on.
Oh, Gibbons, you've had a problem of some description, or you... Oh, that kicked off at the end of the camel straight. Oh, not under lag. Lagged out for a moment there. Oh, and so Housen got the move done. Oh, nearly side by side. And then Phil Reed sneaks on the outside of the final part of Lake Om. Does he get the move done? Yes, he does. He cuts the apex off from Gibbons.
And Housen wide now at Blanchimont. Uphill on, sorry. He's lost the position to Phil Reed. Gibbons is trying to punish him for it as well. Gibbons has to go to the outside at campus. It's not going to happen though. Housen is not like. Oh, he's having another look at the inside. That would have been very optimistic.
That would have gone horribly wrong, I think, if Ronnie Gibbons had followed that one through. But he backed out there just at the right time. Bit of a wiggle coming from Stavelo. Again, pushing a bit hard on the exit of Paul Frey. Now comes through Blanchimont again. But yeah, if you want to hang on to the back of someone, Phil Reed's not a bad person to hang on to the back of, in fairness.
He's a smart overtaker, he is, isn't he?
That was brilliant.
He's been sat behind those two for a very long time. And Gibbons at the inside. The bus starts brave. So that's it. Even Phil took a wiggle to avoid that. Housen was not having it though. He's fought back incredibly hard and managed to maintain it. It's costing all of them time though. It's bringing Lundgren, Sluman and Godefroy all back into this.
A bit of a lag moment there. Gibbons on the outside of the source. Once again, the Porsche just managed to fend him off again. on board with Ronnie Gibbons then, car 228. Making himself known, heading down the hill, through Ravion, whichever way round it is. And I'm saying it, but I'm questioning myself when I say it as well.
Don't worry about it.
And Phil Reed actually jumped straight back to the racing line. That's loud. Housen through. Here comes Gibbons as well. Is he going to try and make a 3-1 into Lakon? No, he backs out of that one, but Housen comes through again. Whoa! That could have got a little bit nasty. Phil Reed having to take to the grass to avoid Ronnie Gibbons. But Phil Reed just maintaining 12th position ahead of the geodesic Ferrari. That's Joachim Lundgren right with him, so that conga line's gotten considerably bigger as Lundgren, Sluman and Godefroy in that order have now caught up with this particular pack. Oh, fabulous stuff.
Absolutely, and I had to cut away from that just because up ahead down the road I could see that our Pro-Am lead of Jeremy Harper and Knut Martinsen was side by side, and Martinsen ended up having to defend from Asger Hedsgaard behind and ended up losing time.
Yeah, he did indeed. They coming through. Actually, that pack we've just been looking at is only 4 seconds behind them. So if they kind of get into fighting, that conga line could get exceedingly long. But already Housen's got 7/10 over Phil Reed. So, mind you, Phil Reed's broken away from Gibbons. Gibbons now has got a lot of pressure from that pack of 3 behind him.
Yeah, I think Gibbons made a bit of a mistake through campers. It's cost him a little bit, and it's cost him a lot of pressure now to those behind. I think Lundgren's going to be quite welcoming having somebody else in front. He's held Sluman and Godefroy behind who have switched a couple of times. But now this battle has now got a lot longer. You know, you were saying something's going to happen. Was it Sluman up the inside? No. Backed out of it the last second.
Well, that's Godefroy in.
Godefroy. Yeah, Godefroy deciding now he's going to come into the pit, get a quick splash of fuel and be on his way.
So they don't have to come into the pits rule-wise, but fuel tank-wise, probably they do.
Yes. If you're fuel saving, you're doing it pretty much. You go into the race with that mindset, and you have to commit to it immediately to make it work.
I haven't seen any conservative driving going on anywhere.
You know, me neither.
Yeah, and Spa I can't imagine Spa is a particularly friendly track to fuel save on because of its length.
I don't think so. And as well, Asger Hedsgaard trying to go outside of Knut Martinsen. Oh. No. No, you've also got the run up to Kemmel Straight, and it is really a run up. It is steep, which requires a considerable amount of power and pull to get you up there. And having run out of fuel on this track before, it's hard to do. My very first AOR iRacing League race, in fact.
But I bet you've never done it again.
No. I quit. I just quit, so I didn't have to do it again.
All right. Coming back to Joris Thielen. Still keeping down to Sosky Company.
I don't think he's not pushing that. He's just I think he's quite happy to let Dan run out front, and if he can save some fuel behind Dan, then that's fine by him. But consider the car choice of those two cars. I think even if Joris wants to do that, he needs a hell of a good run, and then knows he's got to get a really good couple of corners after that to pull away from Dan behind, or it's just going to pass him immediately back. All it's doing is it's just extending that gap from Aeronom, our championship leader. Not even on the podium. He's. Let me see his lap.
Well, looks like for the last few, the top 5 have been in the 213s pretty constantly. Oh, Hedsgaard was side by side with Martinsen then. Let's just have a quick look at that. Coming into the bus stop. Whoa, that's a big move from the Dane. Oh, he just outbraked himself a bit. No impact between the two.
Oh, he's going up the inside now. They're into La Source. Having to go a long way around. Oh, it's punished Asger for that. He got a little bit of a wobble on the exit.
Here we come. How's this going to shake out down the Kemmel Straight then? With Hedsgaard once again. And this must be so disheartening as the lead driver of the pair. You know what's going to happen, and you can have a fairly decent anticipation as to when. That's done. That's long since done. And Knut knew it. He knew that at the top, at the beginning of the Kemmel Straight, let alone anywhere near Lake Arm. He didn't fancy defending air, so he let that one go. He's going to hang on to the back of Hebsgaard, and we know how quick he is. Actually, he's got one of the fastest laps. Looking at the fastest lap count, probably in the top 5, I'd say. Quick guess.
Who's that, sorry?
Asger Hebsgaard.
Asger Hebsgaard.
I'd say he's got probably one of the
13.3. Same as Klima, basically.
Cheelan as well. 13.2.
Yeah, he's up there.
The fastest lap actually goes to Dan Sasulski at the moment. Just.
Yes. Only just.
About 27 thousandths of a second, admittedly. It's incredible considering it's over 2 minutes a lap and how close these lap times still are. As we, with 40 minutes to go, so we're kind of on the halfway point now. That's incredible. It just shows how good these guys are.
Yeah, we've had some really good battling out there and some really good racing as well. Let's say we're only halfway through. A lot of races have a kind of a quiet period. We don't get one of those.
Jochen Lundgren and Marvin Sluman, they're pretty close together. Ford only looking at the inside of the Ferrari. Is he going to try and outbrake the Bushring Ferrari? No. The V3 Racing 241 Ford stays where he is in 15th place.
They've got to be careful as well because Godefroy was in that battle and Godefroy's pitted already.
That's true.
There will be some payoff for those who stay out because as the car will get lighter and lighter with the fuel burns off, and the lap time should generally increase. But they will undo that if they are scrapping and costing each other time.
Indeed. So he's staying with Hebsgaard at the moment. Half a second between them. He's right on board with Martinson. I think Hebsgaard had a pretty good run through Radion and Eau Rouge. And yeah, Canute's not really able to gain anything on the 902 Porsche. So he's actually, well, he's probably resolute in staying there for the time being. Yeah, again, looking at the pace, Joris Tina, that gap has just remained at around about anywhere between 3 and 5 tenths all race long between Suzuki and Thielen.
I didn't think Dan planned on bringing a trailer with him, but he's got one. Yeah, I think Joris is quite content at the minute to just sit behind Dan and just let Dan do all the hard work. All he has to do is stay in the slipstream. They've got Aaron on behind, slowly catching. And it is marginally catching.
Such a strange sentence, that, isn't it? Irunon slowly catching.
Yeah, it's not something we've had to say.
Unless you add the words "to lap" on the end of that sentence, which he certainly isn't doing this time.
No, and we say that in good jest. It's we do not underestimate how brilliantly talented Aeronam is. You don't jump into a series that you haven't raced in before and amaze and perform at the level he has without being very, very talented.
Oh yeah, no disrespect meant whatsoever.
No. But
I knew damn well I couldn't do it.
And there are a lot of experienced drivers and very fast drivers that have been humbled, I think, by Aeronom. So we say these things because we are. It's another aspect of him as a driver. We haven't seen him battle anyone, and he was more than willing earlier to get his elbows out.
Oh yes,
and it was great to see.
Absolutely. So looking back at the three-way battle, Gibbons, Lundgren and Sluman for 13th position overall. Actually, in fairness, Hausen is breaking away from Phil Reed. Hausen
is catching Canute Martinson.
Precisely what I was just thinking. He actually matched Canute. To go crikey to 5 thousandths of a second last time around. So that's impressive. I mean, this debut in the season. And I
think he has raced in AOR iRacing leagues before, but I think it was a long time ago in the Formula Renault 2.0.
Oh, bit of a difference.
But he's been away for a while.
Oh, Gibbons! Goodness me!
It's all kicking off.
Yeah, Joachim Lundgren dives on the inside of the entrance of Lake Arm, and that really forced Gibbons to have to back out of it. And through goes Joachim Lundgren. With Marvin Sleeman and Christoph Wojcik behind, but that's demoted Gibbons to 14th now. do get the feeling that Marvin Sleeman's looking to follow suit. How is Jochen Lundgren able to kind of break away a little bit? We don't know.
Tell you what, Gibbons has had some fights today. He's really had to work for these positions, and I'd just like to point out we have our first driver, as Kenny Loggins would say, is on the highway to the danger zone. Phil Reed he is on 16 incidents. Well, he's not the first actually. We've got Cam Van Eyck on 17. This means if they have contact with anybody, their fault or not, they are out. Incidents, just a quick recap: you get 1 for an off track, 2 for losing control of your car by spinning or flying very wildly off the track, and 4 for contact, which is blame.
So I was just looking at Christoph Olsen. Sorry to get you off there, Stevie. I was looking at Christoph Olsen, and just as Rebus rather, our debutant Brazilian was just coming out of the pits. It probably wasn't as close as I thought it was. It looked very close to the point I cut him. Sorry, Stevie, carry on.
I don't know what I was going to say.
We're talking about instant limits.
Oh yeah, and the 4x that you get for contact is it does not apportion blame. You both get contact.
Okay, speaking of, Gatorman's only got 1 point left in the tank. He got 19.
I was going to say actually earlier. Do you remember last week when we interviewed him and he said it was quite nice to finish a race not on 19 incidents, or have to drive for 35 minutes with 19 incidents? He does it a lot. He's okay with it. Chris de Boychek, by the way, is putting a tremendous amount of pressure on Marvin Sluman. He's joined the Jochen and Gibbons battle. Sluman's gone very defensive in the forward up towards Les Combes. I don't think de Boychek's going to have the speed in that Porsche to get past. Doesn't look like it. Oh, Gibbons has run wide though. That's going to compromise all of them.
That's getting very close again. Oh, here comes De Bruyne. Oh no, not 3 wide coming into Bruxelles. That surely can't work, but De Bruyne's car on the inside. Is he going to force Sluman wide? Can he hang on to that line? No, not quite. The Porsche slots back in behind the Ford. So I was just looking at what had happened to Hausen. Jordan Hausen's just coming in the pit, so nothing particularly has happened to him. Wow, that was a great sequence of corners for this trio.
And I'd just say a M-Class update. Both Jake Towns and Chris Bell are out of the second. Oh. And Chris Bell was leading earlier, so that damage he sustained, or the incident with Philippe Gaillard, was apparently enough, and Chris Bell is left.
Oh dear.
Oh, Gibbons also on 16 now. I just saw him run wide, going into Stavelot. You have to be very careful now. He's fighting very hard with people. All it takes is a small misjudgment on his point or someone else's, and he is out.
Yeah.
Oh, Joris Thielen in the pits.
Oh.
That's interesting. Thought he might wait for Dan. Interesting.
Oh well. There he is then. So I'm assuming that's going to be a fairly short stop for him. We haven't seen him involved in any kind of physical contact or any such. Looks as, there he goes. So 13 seconds stationary. Probably a field tank or nearly full tank.
This could be bad. He could be coming out behind this Jochen, Gibbs and Sluman battle. He's just ahead of it. That's just what he needed to do. He needs to get the hammer down now before he gets engulfed in that battle.
He's got Lundgren in between himself and that pack behind. We'll see if the Swede stays behind him.
They are, to a degree, teammates. They'll both drive for Team Bushring Racing of different colours. This might be a favour from Jochen not to attack Joris here. This might be a team order. It looks like it though.
He's remained behind. Whether that's down to realising the different strategy, whether there was a communication that gone on, of course we don't know.
And Jochen will have seen Joris come out of the pits as well. It's wise enough to assume that Joris he's not racing Joris.
I'd be surprised how close that was. It would be a bit amazing if you didn't see him come out of the pits. So look up and oh! And De Bruychek still putting huge amounts of pressure on Marvin Sluman. He's almost pushing him through some of these slower speed corners. That's the advantage of the Porsche. It's so planted through these smaller, more technical corners. Sarah Dove's not far behind either. Just 1.5 seconds behind De Bruychek is the AOR Hime Ford. Oh, that's so close. 0.166 seconds separates the the Porsche and the Ford through that section. So even they'll have to admit that was close going through campus. Well, those, it's water off a duck's back to these guys, I think. Yeah, something I just went to check on. Our Pro-Am Championship leader, Mr. Godefroy, has been pitted 5 laps ago. He's been running some pretty decent laps on his own out there. Compared to those he was with, he's currently in 23rd place. Last few laps, 14.7, 14.6, 15.0, 15.0. Compare that to Marvin Sluman, who he was basically battling with. 15.2, 15.2, 15.6, 15.7. Yeah, but Godefroy is gaining in there. Sluman's been in this battle for so long. So
yeah, this is the thing with the undercut and of pitting early and getting that clear air.
Yeah. Even though you pit on maybe a bit longer because you're taking on a bit more fuel, the gains, if the people you're battling with remain battling for that much longer than you, then the benefit would definitely come back to you. Surely this is an opportunity for Dvorak. On the Kemmel Straight, less than 2 tenths between himself and the 4. There's the slipstream. Sluman staying nailed to the inside line at the last possible. Chris Dvorak jumps out. Can the Frenchman do anything about it? No, again he has to remain back in position. Well defended by Marvin Sluman. Ronnie Gibbons hasn't been able to break away as a result of that battling either, so he's still giving Marvin Sluman a bit of slipstream as well, so that's definitely helping. Whoa! As Dvorak having to take a slightly offensive manoeuvre, I think, from to prevent hitting Marvin Sluman, and Sarah Dove is right there, and she's going to get involved in this battle as well. We have our first victim of the incident.
Gadamer? And it is Gadamer.
Oh no.
And I suspect he will not be the only one. Ken Van Eyck on 18. Soren Kroes on 18. We haven't seen a lot of Soren Kroes actually. No. Who else have we got? Chris Dvorak, 17. Gibbons, 18. Phil Reed, 18. Still half an hour of racing to go. You've got another 14 laps to go. About 14 of the 20 corners that will give you an off track.
And there's no coming back from it. There's no appealing it. You're out. Yep. Tough. That's your day done.
Yep. It's why we don't need to necessarily be as harsh with our outside of the race stewards, because there is a natural policing in sim, and it works.
And it's what's going on here with Dvorak? No. Whoa! Hello, Sarah Dove. You really got involved in there, and Dvorak's in. He's fed up being stuck in this battle, and so's Gibbons.
And Gibbons is, yeah. I'm going to get out of the fight, and the car in front's pitted as well.
Well, 2 of that pack have pitted. The other 2 have not. Where's our race leader? He's just gone past there. That is Anthony Washington. So that is now 3.5 seconds. So Holstein hasn't sprinted away and built up an immeasurable lead, or 4.5 seconds rather. But he's just built it lap on lap on lap, slowly but surely, consistently, and what have you.
Yeah, he's been putting in. This is what I would call the old Chris. This is very much leading back to his championship days of, if he can just get ahead, and he can just get his laps in, he can be very consistent. Needless to say, he's also fought for races, and he has lost races at the last moment, and he's won races at the last moment. But this is very typical Holstein GTE driver, double champion.
Einar Marinsky in 5th has got Michael Dreschler for company. I'm not convinced that Marinsky has been biding his time. I think he's just been struggling more than the rest. Even though he's still been setting damn good lap times, they just haven't quite been on par with those around him. I think it's just...
We have racing between Hausen and Chris Dvorak right now. I think both of them are pitted. So this is a result of the pit stops. I wonder as well if Hausen made the error that a lot of new drivers to the league do, and take tyres or something like that, because that's put him way back with people he wasn't racing. But they were side by side through Les Combes, and Chris Dvorak just coming out on top of that.
That was close. That was very, very close. So that's for 23rd, but a lot of people still to bring their cars in. Well, a lot of people ahead of him still to bring their cars in, I should say. Oh, someone has. Hirunom. Hirunom has come in.
I think Hausen definitely took tyres.
I think he was in the pits.
He's behind Chris. He's behind De Bruyne. He's behind Gibbons, and he was well ahead of both of these guys. Godefroy ahead of Gibbons as well, by about 4 seconds now.
That's not gone well for Ronnie Gibbons. It's a shame because he was putting up a decent battle there. Oh, Lundgren, what's happened to Lundgren? Did he have a mistaken as the source? No. I think it was someone coming out of the pits that upset the numbers. Never mind, nothing's happened to Joachim Lundgren, although he's on the back of Iran Om, who's just come out of the pits.
Yeah, and it's another one of those Team Bushfink potential team orders going on here. But again, Lundgren knows the situation. He knows that he's not racing Iran Om right now. Oh wow! Although I will say, it looks like Iran Om has gained. He's only a couple of seconds now behind Joris Thielen. It looks like he has certainly gained on that.
And both Thielen and Nom have been through the pits.
Yep.
Thielen was right with Dan Sosowski for a long time. No one in the top 9. But Thielen is the front runner of those that have pitted. The top 9 yet to do so. And Dreschler is making Ina Marinsky's life absolute hell. Who is that that's slowly going down the road? That is Rebus, Ricardo Rebus. Will be getting out of the way. He's going to have to pick his time. He doesn't want to just jump off the track because again, iRacing will punish him for it. It's ironic because if you get a back marker out of the way and they're punished for going off track. Oh, flash of the light from Marinsky, and now Rebus bangs on the brakes. Don't get in the way of the Ferrari. Ooh. A little close, but he slots in behind them.
Klimer
in.
Betting from 3rd place, so he's decided he wants. I guess they're going to get with just over 20 minutes to go. They're going to be getting to the end of their fuel tanks now. Fuel's going to be pretty low. It's going to be coming at a premium, and it's a long lap. You don't want to get it wrong.
Oh, indeed. Well, Thielen is coming over the line now with Phil Reed directly ahead of him. Phil has not pitted yet, so Phil's having some serious lag issues. It's slightly unusual for Mr. Reed. Klimer comes out. Oh, is he going to beat Marvin Sluman? Just about, but he's got the Ford right on his tail now.
Marvin's going to have a great run now. He's just far enough back. He's gaining huge amounts about the down towards Radion and Eau Rouge. I don't know whether Marvin's going to go for it. He doesn't want to be held up by Klimer. He's in his own battle with Gibbs. And, Klimer gone defensive. It's not really worth him fighting it, but he doesn't want to be held up.
I think he backs out of it. I think he was gaining really quickly. We were on the nose of Marvin Sleeman, but he just, the rate of gain just stopped. So I think he backed out of that.
It's not a terrible idea. If you know you're pitting soon, you don't want to be getting into fights you don't need to.
Keeping Phil Reed company. That's for 8th at the moment. The top 8 still have to come in. Joris Thielen is in a pretty decent position at the moment to gain to come back up into kind of podium contention.
Just to have a look as well, at the minute your AM leaders are Nick Domino, Richard Brenneman and Merlin Cooper, but I know we've got people who've pitted. Although, who is that? Marco Zelenika having a move on Phil Bedford. This could be for potential AM lead, depending on where they all come out after the pit stops. Phil Bedford just hanging on to that. Phil Bedford about 20 seconds off the back of Jordan Housen in 24th place. And he's got a few cars in front of him now. He's got Chris de Bruyne, Soren Cruz, Ronnie Gibbons a little bit down the road as well. Oh, that's all undone himself for Jordan Housen. It's one of those moves that as a pro or pro-am driver or a more experienced driver, you can get away with that if no one tells the new boy. You don't need to take tyres, but they won't make that mistake twice.
No, indeed. Let's check in with Mr. Holstein. Has he come into the pits yet? No, he has not.
And Dan Sosowski has, though.
Oh, 2nd place. Where's he gone? There he is. And he come back in 6th. 2 seconds there. You just saw the back of the shot was Joris Thielen. they were battling so close for so long that Dan running a bit longer has given him 1.8 seconds over the Porsche.
Yeah, and that's that few laps extra benefit of 5 laps. Dan stayed out extra, and that's those little extra few laps on low fuel. Alright, the tyres aren't at peak grip, but I just naturally have a faster car because your car is light. He's got Knut Martinsson just ahead of him, still yet to pit as well. Yeah,
the top 5 yet to come in. So Holstein, Marinsky, Dressler, Hebsgaard and Martinsson. We're just thinking, wow, Hebsgaard's done well to get back up to 4th, because now we know why. Well, Dressler and Marinsky still crossing swords. How much they're really pushing, of course, only they really know.
I think they're pushing. I don't think they're fighting. I think if Dressler gets run, I think he'd probably try and not do that. This is such a critical point of the race during the pit stop phase. You don't really want to be fighting unless that the car ahead is really costing you time, because those around you have pitted, and yeah, you don't want to be.
And Bedford. It's the Ford of Marco Zelenica. It's come up into 24th. Is that the AM lead?
It might be, depending on where everybody comes out.
Oh yes, it might be effective.
Phil Bedford pitted early. He pitted 12 laps ago. Zelenica just 3. So that is potentially de facto AM lead.
That's Evan Imre right behind them. Wow, he really has struggled. Okay, he started 40th and he's in 26th, but we're used to seeing Evan, and he hasn't pitted yet, so I think it's fair to say Evan has really struggled today.
I think he might have. I think he might have pitted, but if he did, he pitted really early. Because he had a couple of laps that were very slow. But his pace hasn't been that bad.
Dressler and Marinsky coming out at the very same time. Oh, Marinsky only just beat Dressler out. So they came in, they'd spent the same amount of time stationary, near enough, and Marinsky remains ahead of Dressler. So now the pit stops are done, they will be fighting. I think the only person, according to my numbers, that hasn't been in is our leader.
I mean, my pit says 0, but I have a time frame through the lane which is incredibly long. But if you look at where he is compared to on track to where Dan Sasulski is, I think he's pitted.
He's pitted, yeah. I was
the
just
gap
thinking
is only about 5 points down, 5.7.
Unless Holstein's had a mare and didn't stop, but I don't think so. I mean, he was in the pit lane for long enough to have stopped. So, no, he's been third, as our numbers are slightly confused.
Yeah, this is a large track, and with a grid this big, it's struggling to give us all the numbers all at the same time.
Which is a shame, but that's not the fault of the overlay, we'll add. That's the program in the background that's feeding the overlay.
Ooh, Gibbons and De Bruyck scrapping it out for 16th and 17th place. Gibbons has to be so careful. He's 1 incident point away from not finishing this race, and De Bruyck's only 2 away. Hausen behind is also in the danger zone. If he gets 1 contact, he's out. Got to be very careful now. Very, very careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Phil Reed has remained on 18 for seemingly forever.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, we have no one on 0.
Nope. This is one of those very, very tough tracks to get to the end on 0 on.
Yeah. Unless you're exceedingly slow, I suspect.
It's not necessarily. You just can't make a mistake.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're very, very slow, you might not make a mistake because you're not going quick enough to make one. Potentially.
Just having a look further down. Phil got a battle for 31st. Anthony Washington and Colin Van Eyck. Colin Van Eyck trying to go on the outside of the car. He's got to be careful. He's on 18 incidents. It's not deterring him from pushing the attack. Doesn't. That was a bit of a chop there from Anthony Washington. You weren't having that move. Door firmly shut. Just a point as well. We have lost Sam Blackwood. If I hadn't already said that, no, I was going to. We haven't got actually that many retirements. We've still got 35 drivers going. Philippe Gaillard, after that incident he had with Chris Bell, he's still running. He's the last of our runners, a lap down. But he'll get class points. Because he's going to finish.
And Dressler's got ahead of Marinsky.
Oh, wow.
A slipstream move along the Camel Straight. Again, Marinsky stayed to the outside. He knew that one was done. So Eno Marinsky's day is not getting any better.
No, and it's probably worth him now just sitting behind Dressler until he can get a good opportunity to have a go back. Yeah. So are we thinking everybody is pitted? No, I think Sebastian Riesmuller hasn't pitted.
Really?
Doesn't look like it. I haven't got. Oh, I've got a lap time there.
I haven't got a pit time thing for Evan either.
I've got one for Evan. Oh wait, yeah, I've got one for Evan, but I don't have one for Riesmuller. I'm not sure on Riesmuller. I'm really not sure. Although it did have one on lap 12, so maybe that was it. So after all that, here's how your class leaders look. Oh, my overlays do all of the numbers.
Yeah, mine's been struggling all day.
So, Pro, as you can see on your screens, is Holstein, Danszewski and Joris Thielen. Pro-Am is Jeremy Hoppe, Knut Martinsen and Alexander Godefroy, up to third in class now after that early start. That has paid him off brilliantly. And Am is Marco Zelenika, Nick Domino and Phil Bedford. They are in a hell of a scrap. Looking at the timing screens.
Oh, there they are.
They've been
all race long, haven't they?
Yeah, they've had their own scrap, and they've got Evan Imre just behind as well. He's trying to salvage something from Pro-Am. So yeah, Ambal very much hurting up in the final 14 minutes or so of this race.
Indeed, we've got about 7-ish laps remaining here at Spa, and there's still lots of positions to sort out in our various classes. Joachim Lundgren and Marvin Sluman still in their battle. Sarah Dove right behind as well. Erinom, well, Erinom's rather in no man's land there comparatively.
Collision for the Am lead! Marco's just made a mistake going into the bus stop. Nick Thomas had nowhere to go, and Phil Bedford's just hit the wall. I think he's had an incident with Evan Imre.
Oh no, unfortunately I was
Oh no. Okay, you don't do that.
What a shame, unfortunately I couldn't replay that as I was oh dear, Phil Bedford, that's a heavily rearranged rear wing. Oh, Joachim Lundgren! Oh, that's side by side with Marvin Sluman. Here comes Sarah Dove as well. It's kicking off everywhere. That's Sluman that's gone to the inside to defend coming into Brooks House. Sarah Dove looking like, I'm not sure she's trying to commit to an outside move. I think she's just kind of minding her own business there. This is a battle for 13th. Now through 10. And that's actually lost Joachim a little bit of time and now thrown him right in the clutches of Sarah Dove. Sarah is 5th in class, I believe.
I'll come back to you. My numbers are playing, doing a whole thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
she is 5th. 1, 2, 3. She is 5th.
Assuming that Hebsgaard's not categorised, so we can't quite class him as anything, which sounds very disingenuous. But it's just the fact that he hasn't done enough races yet to be put in a category. That's all that necessitates that. But he's having a stonker there in 9th position. 1.3 behind Pro-Am leader Jeremy Hoppe. Oh, have we lost?
We have lost Christa Brojcek.
We've also lost Jordan Hausen.
Oh, I wonder he might have been behind that when that whole incident kicked off.
That would be a great shame, but he's fallen foul of the incident limit.
And Christa Brojcek disconnected.
Oh.
Not like manually disconnected, he lost connection.
Oh, that's a shame.
He has reconnected to the session, but I don't think we'll see him back out.
A great shame for De Brojcek then.
So who leads Am now? Nick Domino. Nick Domino leads it. He certainly will have damage, I suspect, because he had a bit of a bump on the front.
It looks okay. That's Richard Brenneman already ahead of him. Oh no, Richard Brenneman leads it.
Yeah, Brenneman's leading then. So it's Richard Brenneman from Nick Domino to Merlin Cooper.
Merlin's has a brilliant pace. I seem to remember he did pretty well last week in at Daytona.
Yeah, and we've not seen and this is big news actually, because Reifmuller's way down, and Merlin Cooper's only 15 points off AM Championship lead. It's going to be good for Domino because he should easily be able to overtake Jake Towns, who's not finishing this race. Stefan Kamke, he's still running. He's going to pick up some points, but he's going to be certainly losing out to Merlin Cooper.
Shout out to Phil Reed, who's been on 18 incident points for quite a long time and remains on 18. Hebsgaard is doing pretty well as well to fend off the temptation to push too hard for those last two.
Oh, look at this though. Aeronom, he who's led these races and picks up less than 5 incident points on 17.
Yeah, that would probably be the biggest biggest story. Go on.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Gibbons, and it wasn't. It was Klima. But I saw Geodesic Racing go wide at La Source and was like, "No, God, wait! I know Gibbons is dangerous." It was only Klima then.
Gibbons is dangerous. I think you mean on incident points, not on how he's driving.
Yes.
Oh, Hebsgaard, that's you diving on the inside of Jeremy Hoppe. Big move on the inside of La Source, and he's up to 8th. I mean, that doesn't. I mean, how does it work for Hebsgaard who's not categorised? Basically,
we're at a point now where we're not going to categorise people just because we don't want people interfering with the championship. So Hebsgaard will be remaining as AOR label or a reserve label until the end of the season. But it means we can use these races to place him potentially for next season.
What on earth? What on earth is Gaillard doing? He was weaving and flashing his lights down the Kemmel straight.
Might just be having a fun time.
Or maybe cheering on his fellow VEC Sim Racing Porsche or Jeremy Hoppe.
He's still doing it.
How odd.
I have no idea. There's no rules to say you can't do it.
How strange. Oh, he's a lap down in 33rd, so is he our last? Yeah, he's our last running, isn't he? Because the project, I think, is behind him, position-wise.
Yeah. Oh, we've just lost Foku.
Oh dear.
Foku disqualified.
Another one.
These last five laps are where we could lose quite a few. There's a lot of drivers right on the edge.
Yeah, Rebus is on 19. I'm Cohen Van Eyck, 18. Christensen. Krutz. That's about right ahead of him. So all these people got to be so. Imre is on 19. Who's that? That's Phil Reed. He's gained another one.
Phil Reed, very close. And he's got no one behind him and no one really ahead of him either, so he can just take it steady and bring points home. He's only got 4 laps to go. Which is like 7 minutes, but you know.
Which, yeah, would be the longest laps in the world. We'll feel like the Nords.
Yeah.
Hebsgaard's close as well. He's on 19. He is. Oh, it's going to be so tense.
Hebsgaard's got to be careful because he's got Jeremy Hoppe right behind him. Hoppe has got, I don't want to say incidents to spare, it's the wrong mentality. but Hoppe has not got that on his shoulders and he gets very close into the back of Hebsgaard into La Source, and that's all it can take. The slightest tap. You can get lucky and sometimes you'll be classified as a 0x, which is basically, it is literally the lightest rub. But all it takes is a bump and that is it. Hebsgaard will be out of this race.
And there goes Hoppe on the outside coming down. I mean, he's still defending his Hebsgaard. He's not interested in letting Hoppe go.
No, and the drivers will know their own incident limits. It's something that appears. Whenever you pick one up, it shows you what you're on. It's a mentality, though, isn't it? Some drivers, it's pride. But for others, we've seen it before. Of these other more drivers that have been here for a while that have that long-term thought of, I need to get to the end of the race, and if I get to the end of the race and I get to the next race and so on, I might be in a championship position.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sort of keeping an eye on the high scorers. Shout out to Stefan Kamke. He's got 5. He's got the lowest incident score of anybody.
He likes to go for those kind of things. But but if 3 or 4 people drop out, he gains places.
And that's rather what we saw in the this pre-season testing race. Just like another one gone, and another one gone,
and then another one bites the dust.
Yeah.
Thank you for going with me on that.
Never more.
Oh,
go on.
That was lucky. I was just clicking. I just watched Stefan Kamke, and he had a small incident with Rodrigo Ribas at the chicane, and Ribas is on 19. That might have been one of those miracle 0x contacts. But yeah, just to point on Kamke, he's only got a few laps to go. Karen Van Eyck, Matthias Salo Christensen. There are a few AM drivers that are on the very, very end and the very, very edge, and if they go, he gains.
Yeah, absolutely. Evan Imre in 20th now. So he'll fit, but he's on 19 as well, so he's got to be very, very careful what he does. Phil Bedford already behind in that reshaping Porsche.
Have a look what's going on with the AM lead again. Richard Brennan looks like he's got a bit of a gap now over 2 seconds over Merlin Cooper, and another second back to Nick Domino. So I wonder if Domino... No, doesn't look like anything. He's just fallen off the back a little bit.
Marinsky and Dressler really, really, really close. And on 18 incidents apiece. So they've both got as much to lose.
So of the top 10, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers on the very, very cusp.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. And the thing is, you can. Some drivers won't think about that. Some will just okay, whatever. I'm not flustered. I know what I'm doing. Others, that will put even more pressure on them, and they're more likely to make a mistake.
Yeah, indeed. I think I saw Christensen fall through the field. I'm not sure whether that's just my numbers. My numbers getting a bit upset.
Marinsky looks like he might be having another go at Dressler. Coming to the final couple of laps of this race. He's so close coming up to Longchamp. Neither of these guys can afford contact.
That's the thing. I mean, the contact might be made by the person behind, making their mistake as opposed to, or even, the guy in front spins. You can't get out of the way if you're the chaser, and that's both of you done. Yep,
and it's one of those things. If you want to brakes too late, the guy behind brakes too late, the guy in front brakes too early,
pop,
and that's it. Both of you out. And that's the thing you have to remember when you're on these high limits. And it's just one of those things. It's just track dependent on how harsh it is. Like we saw at Daytona. I don't think we saw anybody get disqualified in Daytona because it's not one of those tracks that can really happen.
Whoa! That's Christensen
having to get out of the on the grass. That could have been it.
Yeah.
That right there, because if he went too much on the grass, that would have been an incident point.
Yeah, that was Christensen, I think, getting out, just trying to mind his own business. I think it was a little bit unlucky. And that's... I'll flash the lights there from Marinsky. Thank you very much. That is Ricardo Ribas, who also has to be careful with his incident limit, as previously mentioned. Hoppe still on the back of Hebsgaard, as they come through their comp.
And shout out to Hoppe, because Hoppe has led Pro-Am the entire way through. He's had to fight sometimes, and he's had pressure from Knut Martinsen and Gibbons at points, but he has led Pro-Am the entire way through, which is not easy to do in a grid this competitive.
He's ahead of several very fast pro drivers as well.
Absolutely, and I said to KK before the broadcast, this is one of those tracks that all the drivers know very, very well, either just from iRacing or from other platforms. This is one everybody knows, so you can get some varying results.
Certainly can. Where's our race leader? There he is. Christoph Holstein begins the final lap here at Spa. The checkered flag will become available in about 1.5 minutes, way before he gets round for the final time. And Holstein has got 9 on the instant limit. He could pretty much just wander off the road at every corner and still find the checkered flag at the end of it. But a number of people do not have that luxury. There is Einar Marinsky still chasing Michael Dressler. They start the last lap then. So the one that's got the most to lose, essentially, is Irunom. He's on 18 incident points in 4th position, but he's 3.8 behind Thielen and 2.6 ahead of Klima, so he's not under immediate pressure and probably won't be, even if he just kind of maintains his pace. There is Claudio Klima, so he can just concentrate on keep within the lines, keep it on the island. But, you know, the battles of Hoppe and Absgaard and Marinsky and Dressler, they've got a lot more to think about.
Yeah, I wonder whether Hoppe is going to have a go for it. He's close, but as we've seen so many times here, the push needs to be more than close to have a go. He's got a good run up through Radion and No Rouge. Asgard's going to go defensive, but it's not going to really work. Hoppe not going to have that straight line speed. He's still gaining at the minute. He's going to have to go on the outside if he wants to do it. Nope, he braked early. Oh, is he going for it? Asgard left him space. He's going to be so careful. He's going to be so careful. He might earlier in the race. He might have not done that, but given the situation, he's going very defensive though.
Well, I mean, even you must have clenched, sir. You must have. I refuse to believe that you weren't tense in those moments. But no, Absgaard, as we said before, he's under no obligation to let Hoppe go.
No, and that's one of those moments he put complete faith in Jeremy Hoppe that he would not hit him. As we have Mr. Holstein coming towards the bus stop chicane for the final time.
We do. And, of course, navigates it properly. Your winner here at Spa is the 109 Comrade Gaming Ferrari, our champion. It is Christoph Holstein.
He's happy about that.
I think he's quite happy about that. Then it is Dan Sasulski, followed pretty shortly by Joris Thielen and Irunom. An uncharacteristic 4th position in the Ferrari. Then it is Claudio Klima. And then it is some way down the road before we find Dressler and Marinsky. It looks like they're going to remain in their positions for 6th and 7th. But if we jump back to Hebsgaard, he can't rely on the fact that Hoppe will remain behind him. Is Hoppe going to have a big lunge into the bus stop? He knows better than that. Whoa, here comes Canute. But another lap and he may well have gotten involved in that fight. But here's 8, 9 and 10. This will round out our top 10 then. Hebsgaard, Hoppe and Martinsen. Well, Phil Reed, he outraked himself a bit coming into the bus stop, but he did make it. He'll come across the line in 11th. 19 incidents on the limit. Very literally could not have timed that any closer. He chased home by Alexander Godefroy in 12th. And Sluman, he looks quite happy with that in 13th. And you have Saradov, Ronnie Gibbons. He's going around the bus stop himself. So quite a few cars still running. So we didn't lose too many.
No, we didn't. We actually got in, I think Evan Imre was the last one. He got disqualified. So we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers to the incident limit.
We lost considerably more than that in the exhibition race.
The difference between a test race and a league race, though.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
And the test race allowed anybody to join. This was reserved for the league race.
Yes.
So we only lost 9 drivers, which isn't terrible.
Certainly not.
So there you go. That was good fun.
Jamie Smith, our last man on the lead lap. He'll be coming across the line to signify the end of the race. He'll come across the line in 21st position. Very nicely driven by our drivers. Few incidents, as you would expect. But the results stand as such. Holstein, Sasulski, Thielen, Nom, Klima, Dressler, Marinsky, Hebsgaard, Hoppe, Martinsen, Reed, Godefroy, Sluman, Dove, Lundgren, Gibbons, Brenneman, Cooper, Domino, Zelenika, Bedford, Reithmuller, Smith, Hitchcock, Washington, Ike, Kamke, Rebus, Guyard, Christensen, De Bruychek, although we lost him a little while ago. And then those that didn't see the flag were Imre, Krutz, Foku, Hausen, Blackwood, Gadamer, Bell, Toika, Malbrun, and Towns.
And just to confirm your class podiums, so Pro was Chris Holstein, Dan Sasulski, and Joris Thielen. Pro-Am was Jeremy Hoppe, Knut Martinsen, and Alexander Godefroy. And Am, I think the first time winner for the Am class, Richard Brenneman, Merlin Cooper, and Nick Domino.
Very,
and we have,
very nice. Who have we got?
And we have people who want to talk to us.
Happy, happy days.
Let's get our race winner.
Oh yes, yes. And we heard that. We interrupted the conversation. We heard that.
Yeah. Well, you just asked me how my race was, and I was like, pretty good. Okay.
Well, it's been a while since we've had a chat with you, Mr. Holstein. That's a pretty commanding race you had up front. How are you feeling after that one? You looked quite happy afterwards.
I'm super delighted with that. I mean, definitely the best drive I've had in this car, maybe even in the whole league, because building the gap in the beginning was just, hard work. Dan was so consistent, and I was also worried about the AORs behind, who maybe saved a little bit of fuel and stuff like that. And literally, I was checking the gaps every single lap. I gained like half a tenth a lap. It was so tense for the first 20 laps, and yeah, to be able to just keep the composure, push as hard as possible, and extend the gap like that was super satisfying.
Yeah, we mentioned early on in the race that it looked quite comfortable here up front, looking at how Joris particularly was battling with those behind, but it didn't feel that way to you then.
I'm not sure I understood the question.
Well, it looked like from our perspective that you were quite comfortable. You just kind of minding your own business, extending the gap, but you were saying you felt under much more pressure than that.
Yeah, definitely, because I knew like instantly if they get close and if they get to my slipstream, they will save tires, they will, add tires, they will save fuel, they will just, get me on the pit stops when I have to refuel more. So getting them out of the slipstream and getting as much of a gap as possible to potential fuel savers behind, especially Joris, Not sure what happened with him during the pit stop. I expected him to jump down quite comfortably, but yeah, I felt the pressure quite a lot really during, especially in the beginning of the race, because it was just so tight on pace, and one mistake could have easily, cost way more than that. Yeah.
Was there also flashbacks of the pre-season race?
Definitely, I was definitely thinking about that, especially when there were laps where Dan was like very close on the pace, and I was not quite able to extend the gap as I wanted to. I was like, oh, is this the switch over point like last season, where I just can't quite extend the gap anymore and he's come back. But no, it didn't happen. I didn't have too many lockups as well into bus stop and stuff like that, so I tried to just nail the lines every single lap, and the tires really thanked me for that, I guess, in the end.
So with two rounds left, you looking forward to the season being done, or is there a race that you're looking forward to in the final rounds?
Wait, what is the last? I know that I'm looking forward to the last race. I can't remember the track anymore. In
the last
particular,
race,
yeah,
Silverstone.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Silverstone, definitely, because we haven't been there since. We haven't been there last season, and Silverstone was also, I think, my first win in this league back then. So it's also definitely nice to come back to that. It's a bit unfortunate, obviously, that the season is ending so soon again after I've missed now 4 rounds in this time round. So
you said it with all the vinegar.
It's quite annoying. It wasn't definitely unexpected that I missed so many rounds, but yeah, what can you do? I can just try to make as many points as possible in these last couple of rounds. I mean, it's looking good to pick up where I left off. So it's I like it.
Well done on the win, and we look forward to the remaining rounds.
Thank you.
Who's next, Mr. Stevie?
I think we should get our AM winner in. We'll get Mr. Richard Brenneman.
Hello, Richard.
Hello, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, we can. I think it's the first time we've had a chance to have a chat with you. It's well done on the class win. How are you feeling after that one?
Exhausted. I was defending pretty heavily with Merlin right on my tail for over 20 minutes. Really tight on the pit stop. We pitted at the same time. We came out with our cars inside of each other. He had to yield to me because I was just a nose ahead of him. Then somebody got turned around in the bus stop, and it collected a few of the cars in front. And they all slowed down, and we caught them. And I think I got the best break out of that. Domino was in front. I drafted on him, and he let me by on the Camel Straight. And I broke the draft from Merlin and was able to keep the gap the rest of the way. But yeah, just sweating.
Oh, good
stuff. It was
stuff.
quite a race for me. So,
I mean, what were your thoughts coming into this race? Were you confident on getting towards the sharp end of the class, or were you just taking it as it comes?
This is one of my best tracks. I felt like I could keep up with some of the Pro-Am guys, but I've also had a lot of bad luck with incidents in the opening laps at this track. So I didn't really think much of it going in. I just wanted to survive the first 3 or 4 laps and get settled into the race. So I was a little hesitant at the start. I'm trying to yield a bit, especially to the Pro-Am guys, just to avoid any contact. Jake and I, he got some netcode, so we had a bit of contact without really. Other than that, no other car contact or anything. Was pretty clean. And yeah, then the race sort of came to me. Domino was way ahead of me at the start of the race. He was like, I don't know, 15-20 seconds up the road, and like that I ended up catching him after the pit stops.
Good stuff. Well done. And looking forward to the final 2 rounds?
Yeah. Le Mans is next, and that's always fun. And I think I won Silverstone in the previous season in NAM, so hopefully I can repeat that. I'm not sure if I did win or not, but I think I did.
Awesome. Well, best of luck, and we look forward to speaking to you again.
Thanks. Hopefully I get a chance to.
Awesome. Well done. Any more, Stevie?
Well, let's get Stefan Kamke.
Yes. Hello, Stefan.
Good evening.
Well done on getting the lowest incident count of everybody.
And it was high for me.
Well, this track lends itself to just destroying people through incident count.
Yeah, it's Spa Francorchamps.
How are you feeling after that one?
I had a massive code brown early on, going down Camel Straight. My screen froze for 4 seconds. Right in the braking zone as well, and I somehow still managed to brake down, take the escape road, and then rejoin at the end of the field with 0x. Don't ask me.
Wow! And just to point out as well, you race in VR as well, don't you?
Yep, that was scary.
Blindfold challenge for Stefan Kamke.
After that, being off pace, I had a couple of nice scraps, and my tires were gone, so I pitted, got fresh tires. Almost paid off if I wouldn't have been so generous to blue flag traffic.
Well done on that. Looking forward to the final 2?
Yeah.
Let's be fair, were you hoping in those final few laps that there would be more people that would disconnect, that would get disqualified?
Yeah, I'm a little bit a bottom feeder there. I'm just lapping around and waiting for people to die so I can...
Hey, it's a legitimate strategy.
Absolutely.
It won me a championship.
There you go, you see? Voice of experience right there.
Well done, Stefan, and we look forward to the final 2 rounds.
Cheers.
That's going to be it for this evening. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure to have you with us. Thank you very much, Stefan. Well, thank you, Stefan, anyway. Thank you very much, Stevie, for keeping me on the straight and narrow. As you can tell, I always need it. Oh, he's muted his mic. His microphone has died on you. Oh, he's back.
I'm here, don't worry, I haven't gone anywhere. No, I'm here, and it's well welcome. It was a pleasure to talk over these races with you. always good fun. It's a good way to spend my evening. Coming up on the iRacing broadcast side for the AOR leagues, on Friday we have the finale of the F3 League at Detroit Belle Isle. I can't wait. It's going to be crazy. The next round of this championship is on next Monday, which will be round 9 at Le Mans, which we'll probably do what we did with Nords, which is pick up most of the way through qualifying, just because it's the long track, so they'll need more time. And then on Friday following that, we have the finale of the Formula 3.5 League at the track we've just been to tonight, which is Spa Francorchamps.
Lovely. Should be some excellent racing, so do come back to us for that. And there's plenty of other AOR action throughout the week. The Project Cars GT3 Leagues happens on Wednesdays, and the final 5 rounds of the F1 2018 Leagues resumes this coming Sunday. So plenty of action, so do come back to us and we will see you there. Thank you very much, and good night.